The Couch Steals are brought to you by the VLG Studio, the community for people with a story to tell.
You're now tuned in to the Couch Stealers anime podcast.
And guess what? You can't beat me because I'm the principal of Sans. Oh my god, he about to he got a hand. Let's go. He's having a full-on Shinji Ikari. Why am I fighting this thing?
Yo, what's going on, everyone? You already know it's the Couch Stealers. It's the one and only Meister Mikey J.
And it's your boy AU.
Yo, welcome back. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us as always. Don't forget to listen to wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. Follow us across all socials at Couch Stealers and subscribe to the Couch Stealers YouTube channel to watch this video and others that we got, shorts, videos, full-length videos, other episodes of this podcast, all of that good stuff. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss a drop. AU, I appreciate you, bro. I've been running around all morning. My phone either died or didn't die. I don't know what happened. The bitch was plugged in, and then all of a sudden, I wake up an hour and a half after I was supposed to, and
Boy,
there was
I ain't
like
never
it was
seen
dead.
nobody have more phone troubles than you. Like,
It don't make no sense.
ever.
It don't make no sense, bro. I'm tight.
Ever.
Like I'm over here running around. We got like 10 inches of snow the other day, so I still had to clean cars off and stuff. I'm running around.
What took you so long? It snowed like 2 days ago.
Yeah, but I wasn't going outside in that yesterday. It was still cold and snowing. I wasn't going outside and all of that.
Guy, dude. This guy.
Nah, but it was that mixed with a couple other things. Like, I had a couple other things that I legit like had to do that were like time sensitive. So like the fact that I like woke up an hour after I was supposed to, it put me an hour behind what I was supposed to. Like it was nuts. But how you doing, bro? How was your weekend?
I mean, I took today off because like weekend was just super busy. I didn't really enjoy the Super Bowl. I don't like seeing blowouts during the Super
It
Bowl.
was such a bad game.
That's not fun. It's like it's just not fun. Pat Mahomes
shout out
needs
Philadelphia
a new
Eagles.
O-line.
Shout out they fans. Shout out the Eagles.
Yeah,
Shout out all that
happy
good
for
stuff.
y'all.
Yeah, boot to ass. Boot to ass was
I think it's hilarious
happy.
that Carson Wentz is on the field on the other team losing. That's just hilarious. They're
I
gonna
didn't think
fire
about
the
that.
whole entire O line for the Chiefs. That O line will not be there.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Not in
That
the same
O-line
way it's constructed
will
now.
Not be there anymore. My God, Patrick Mahomes did everything he possibly could to win that game.
Bro, running for his life.
Running for his life all game. Bro, I thought Saquon was going to have much more of a game, and he didn't even have a game. I thought the run game was how they were going to win, and they didn't. They didn't even win off the run.
Yeah, shout out Jalen Hurts. That's the one thing the Chiefs did do well the whole game was that they actually like stopped Saquon from being Saquon. But then Jalen Hurts was like, "Yo, watch this." Jalen Hurts gonna with the usher said, "What's this?"
It was terrible. But other than that, I mean, anime wise, Solo Leveling, really doing it, still hitting it,
always,
just hitting. Because I think that's the only thing I'm watching weekly at the moment. Other things I'm just kind of letting stack.
Mm-hmm.
Solo Leveling, really nice, still hitting. Really like where it's going. I like that they're opening things up a little bit more. Because like I said last week, I felt like Solo Leveling getting carried by the animation and the fights. I still believe that until the story opens up a little bit more. But
yeah, you can see that they're getting ready to open up the story and open up the world. I mean, between that whole situation with the orcs and everything that went down with that, I mean, they're still.
Yeah, I need to see what's going on.
Yeah, I need to see what's going on too. But like, we're getting a chance to finally, extend this world out, extend things that at least our knowledge as the viewer is going to like continue to be. Because, like I said, there's only a handful of things that they have given us crumbs at this point. They really have.
Yes.
They've given us crumbs to this like main story
To the main
see
story,
where we're gonna go. So it is cool to see that we're finally getting to that point. I'm watching a couple of things. I think Solo Leveling, to your point, is the only thing I'm like week to week on. I'm even with like Sakamoto Days, and I know we're gonna get to Sakamoto Days at some point.
I'm letting Sakamoto Days stack.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
and
for
as
me,
soon as it's done,
Go
I'm gonna binge Sakamoto Days. I think I said it on the pod. I don't remember if I said it to you like outside the pod or on the pod, but Sakamoto Days just gives me like the buddy daddy kind of like Spy Family vibe, and I have to binge those shows. I can't like watch them weekly.
It gives me, because I'm letting it stack like mini stack, kind of like I do with like One Piece, where I like maybe 3 episodes stack, so I can binge like 3 episodes, and then like, okay, I'm caught up, and then we go from there. If I'm interested in where we're at now, I'm gonna watch it week to week to see how the conclusions will happen. But if not, I'll
100%.
let them stack. So, Buddy, excuse me, got me saying Buddy.
Buddy Daddies.
Sakamoto Days feels like, at least to me, and I know you're gonna get there eventually because I know we talked about it. It's got Gintama vibes to me, like big Gintama vibes, with like not as much slapstick. Obviously, still a fair amount of slapstick, but Gintama is its own entity. Like
Gintama is a legend. Gintama is like GOAT level anime, like shit. Like that it's its own thing.
100% its own thing. But
I'm surprised that a genre hasn't really spawned from Gintama. Like I know it, like kind of somewhat has, but like people have taken like things from Gintama, from what I've seen so far from Gintama. People have taken things from it and used like its slapstick and things of that nature, but no one's really just done what it's done. I feel like Gintama really is its own genre of like anime.
Trust me, when you, because I'm still, Gintama's one of those like long form watches. Like, you know, you got your week to week, you got your like your mini binges, and then you got the ones that be like, all right, I'll pop in, watch like 20 episodes, and I'll pop out for a little bit. For me, that's Gintama. And I know I'm about to get to like one where I'm at. I think I'm at like episode like 50 or something like that. So I'm about to get to like one of the first really big plot points. So I'm excited about that. But the reason why I get so much Gintama vibes because like Sakamoto and the two, well, we'll get into it because I know you haven't watched a lot of it. So, but like just overall, the dynamic of the three characters feels like Gintama. The way that it's set up with the backdrop of like the store and they're like in Everyman, but actually underneath they're all demons in their own right gives me Gintama vibes. It just doesn't have the slapstick Gintama.
And that's why I think of like Buddy Daddies or Spy Family because like, you know, you get the regular life shit and then, but low key, this man is an absolute monster. Like, you know what I mean? Literally, he's a monster. So
beast with no neck, boy.
I'm waiting for it. I know I'm going to enjoy it. I enjoyed the first episode that I watched of it. I know it's something I'm going to watch for sure. I think it's just something I gotta wait to binge.
So I want to actually follow up on that. I know we're going in a different direction afterwards, but I want to talk specifically around that because somebody, I think it was yes, it was. Shout out LV on this. He had a good point. Well, a good friend of ours had a point about this. Where would you rather see? Because I never thought about it. Would you rather see in this day and age of anime still having week to week episodes, or would you rather how like other series?
I forgot he brought that up.
Yeah, he brought that up, and I've been sitting on that one because I was like, that's actually a good point. Like the way that certain series have it, where they they drop the whole season at once, or they'll drop like half a season and then half a season. Which do you prefer of an anime that you're starting to watch? Would you rather go week to week to week to week to week, or would you rather say, give me the whole thing at one time, let me binge it, and then we roll from there? Because I never thought about it like that from the standpoint of anime, but it's a valid point if you really think about it.
So just because I'm not super familiar with like behind the scenes and like, you know, the actual work that goes into animating shit and things of that nature, I feel like there are seasons for a reason for anime. You got to understand a lot of these top, like, you know, animating companies, Mappa, like things of that nature, or like that elite level, they're not just animating one anime.
No.
You get what I'm saying? So like, I feel like asking for things to be released all at once is a little selfish. I get the point, I get the idea, but I will say, at least for me, I enjoy watching anime weekly more times than not, simply because it gives me that excitement, it gives me the build up, and I need that sometimes for anime. Now, don't get me wrong, do I not always do that and watch it weekly, or sometimes I just like kind of wait and just let it build like I'm doing with Sakamoto Days? For sure, I definitely do that, but I would still prefer that it comes out weekly. Because let's say I start watching Sakamoto Days like after this or something like that, and then I'm like, oh, I'm in it. Like, I'm really enjoying what's happening here. Then I'd rather wait the week and let that build up come.
So you
like if I got Solo Leveling the whole entire season, first season of Solo Leveling all at once, it'd be lit, it'd be cool, but then I'd be like, damn, I got no more Solo Leveling for like mad long now.
So for you, it's more of like a building up the anticipation to want to get to the next stop. So I'll argue the other side of this real quick,
the journey,
because because while you do bring up valid points, I do think there is something to, as from a consumer standpoint, from somebody that's sitting down and watching it, if it's a series that I want all of it of, I'd rather have all of it of, to the point of I can sit down at my own point and just be like, all right, I got a weekend here. Let me binge watch this whole series in a weekend now, or this whole season in a weekend. Now, granted, that's situational, and not everyone's going to have that same situation, but you still can't say on the other end that you got people that can wait week to week for every anime. Now, I look at it like this. There's certain anime that I can watch week to week, no matter what. Like, it's on drop. I'm watching. Dan was like that for me. I'm
I was watching that weekly.
Oh, my goodness. I was watching Dan. Bro, I was watching Dan on my lunch break. Like,
I was watching that. Like,
I was like, that train dropping at 1 o'clock? Okay, bet.
There was no way I was never going to not watch that on drop.
You know what I'm saying? So Dan was getting on drop. So that's one where, like, okay, to your point, I don't mind watching that week to week. But one that we'll get into in a little bit, like Shangri-La Frontier, which I genuinely do enjoy, I would rather have the whole season of that. Give me the whole season of something like that, where a show is built around not just, creating this imaginative world, but like it's almost like, I don't want to say it's an anthology.
You get to binge that world versus like you get to really probably enjoy the world a little bit more if you binge watch Shangri-La versus like doing the weekly, which is why I stopped watching and let it stack.
Yeah, because there's a lot of situations, SLF is one of them, Shangri-La Frontier is one of them, where I'm binging this series anyway. I know I'm going to be binging this series because when Shangri-La Frontier first came out, I remember you was on it, and I started watching like the first couple episodes. I think I called like the first 2 episodes, like week to week, and I was like, I can tell this is good, but I don't really want to watch this week to week. I don't. Yeah. Like, I could tell, like, I
couldn't watch it week to week either.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to be in it as much week to week, watching it boom, 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 in the same way as, Dan's a classic. I slow down before I say classic, but Dan looks like it is on the path. It's on the path to being a classic. It's not there yet, but it's on the path. And if it's on the path to being a classic, Kaiju number 8 is another one. It's on the path to being a classic. I'm going to sit there and be like, yo, give me that week to week. Like, I'm going to need my fix week to week. But if I'm sitting there and I'm watching something casually, because I would say I'm watching shit.
Yeah, so like, I agree with you that if it's a casual vibe, then I can understand getting that, like, not week to week. Maybe they drop 3 episodes a week.
Yeah, yo, facts. Like Invincible.
But I don't want the whole entire thing, and we're gonna get the Invincible.
Oh, yes, we are.
We're gonna get the Invincible. But yeah, I like, even then, like, I still like the week to week concept. Just like of something. It kind of just like, it gives you something to look forward to. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, so if I'm finding like that middle line, or rather just like that, the compromise, do 3 episodes. If you got a 30 episode season, give me 3 episodes a week.
Okay. Over a 10-week stretch, you get 3 episodes on a given day. That gives you 10 weeks, which admittedly is a little under, because like most first seasons of an anime are anywhere between 12 and 14 episodes
right now. Yeah.
So even if you extend that by giving us like an extra like hour-long finale or something like that on that 3rd week, or that last week, I should say, that's fine, because you still hit your quote-unquote quota of like that 10 to 12 week span. But I do think that some should,
which they could have did with SLF. Honestly,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there are certain series that can be week to week, and I am with you on that. Like,
because if they ended season 1 with him defeating Weatherman, I would have been happier about that.
Yeah, I didn't need okay. So happier is not the word I would use. I would be maybe a little more satisfied in anticipating the next season. But I did appreciate them giving us that little like, after, okay, here's the results of what happened. Like, yo,
yeah, you get that, but they could have started us that they could have started the next season off with that.
But would you
gave us a little bit of anticipation of like, oh, what happens from here after he beat him? Let us build that up. Like, let us see. Like, it's the time skip, like One Piece after they were gone 2 years. And so, we had the anticipation, waiting for them to come back, seeing how they were going to grow, seeing what they were going to do, who they were going to be. And so if they gave us that for the start of the next season, that anticipation builds it up. There's more excitement for the next season and the show. Whereas defeated, and I also, as much as I enjoyed the fight of Weatherman, although it was very creative, first and foremost, that fight, I do think they defeated one of the, what are they called? The Colossus?
Yeah.
I feel like they defeated one of them a little too early. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, there's 12 of them.
Yeah, I know, but still,
like
time. we got third. Yeah, I know they got time, but like it's the first season, and he's already beating one of the unkillable, like kind of like.
Well, he's faced 2. It's the first season. He's faced 2.
That's what I'm saying. There's already a lot. Like I think they should have left the mysticism of these a little bit longer. Let it come out slowly a little bit, because like, bro, he's level 50 when he beat Weatherman.
Yeah, but that was just because they had the cap. Remember that Weatherman had the cap.
I know. I'm just saying, but still.
But I think I look at it like this, and obviously we talking Shangri-La Frontier, that season 1 fight. The thing for me with the way that the weather, because I don't disagree with you that when it comes to how they're building the Colossus storyline, that does feel like it's. I mean, maybe they'll slow it down now that like we've been introduced to one and we've beaten another. The one thing that I'll say about the fight is the same thing I'll say about Shangri-La Frontier as a whole. And it's something that has really endeared the series to me because it's not the best anime series I've ever watched, but I'm having such a good time watching it. I'm having such a ride watching it. Bro, I'll be forgetting that this is a video game. I forget they're in a game all the time. I 100% forget they're in it. I'll be like, yo.
But I like when they kind of come out of the video game too, and you get to see them outside of the world. I like that.
I love it. It makes me understand the character a little bit more and how they act on like once they're in the game. Like when we got introduced to Sunraku's like whole family and saw that his whole family is insane the same way he is about video games, just about their own thing, and like the beauty, if you want to call it that, of saying, hey, it's Sunday dinner, everybody's getting out of they little bubbles, and we come in and we be in a family,
and we be in a family together
before you return to your bubbles, because we respect you got to be in your bubble. I appreciated that, and it also shows the fact that they are all like he's cut from that cloth, and he plays like he's cut from that cloth because he's a great player, and he's obsessed. He's a little bit obsessed with his video games, and I respect it, but he's a beast. I just. The thing that like I said, that throws me off with them is that I will forget that they're in the game. So I will be on the edge of my seat through like the Weatherman fight. I was on the edge of my seat that whole time because I didn't know how in the world they were going to get out of it.
Sorry.
You say what?
Digimon ass name.
Bro,
I just thought
Digimon
about that.
ass name. Digimon ass name. No. I'm glad you're right.
I just thought about that.
It kept messing me up. I was like, is it really Weatherman? Like, Weatherman Digivolve 2?
Weatherman the Tomb Guard. Bro, that's a Digimon ass name.
Bro, I'm telling you, Weatherguard was it Weatherman Digivolve 2 Hurricane Man. Like Hurricane Mon, bro. That's exactly what we're working with here. But
to Clear Skymon.
Clear Skymon is crazy. The imagination of the fight is something you brought up because you've played WoW a lot more than I have. And
I played for years.
And so that's what I'm saying. I want to get your opinion. When you look at a series like Shangri-La Frontier compared to obviously the most famous open world video game there is in World of Warcraft, what are some of the things that you could see as being the things that they do well, the things they've taken inspiration of, and just the overall feel? Because like I said, I played World of Warcraft that one time with you, and we started playing at like 8:30 at night, and I blinked and it was 4 a.m. and I said I can't become that which has no life, even though this game is mad fun. So I do want to get your opinion on it because it makes me want to play WoW, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but
it makes me want to go back.
It's
like, scary. And I think I might. Especially now that they have the classic World of Warcraft they're releasing, which like isn't. So when I introduced you to World of Warcraft at that point in time, World of Warcraft was like it was, at least to me, because it was a return to World of Warcraft as well. It was different. Before, when I was playing World of Warcraft, it would drop. You play up until that level cap, and then you wait until a new expansion dropped. Now, when we reintroduced ourselves to the game, you could kind of just go through all of the expansions at any point in time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There was no, but yeah, and it was like you don't really get the story behind each expansion within the game, even though they're all there. Like, so I thought that was strange, where it was like you don't really get to have the involvement in the world building and the stuckness and just waiting for the next expansion, that excitement, like I said, that build up. So what they did recently was they released them as the classic versions again. So you only play that expansion and then you are stuck at that cap again. It's a whole different server. So yeah, you get to just build up and then get back to like play it how you used to play it.
Mhm.
I will say I wish they released it so that you can play all the original classic expansions
Mhm.
up until like Classic WoW, which is I believe was Cataclysm. Yeah, Cataclysm, I believe. So I wish you could go all of the Cataclysm and just play through them again like that, but they're releasing them as like one expansion. You play to 60, and then if you were to play Burning Crusade, you'd probably start at 60 and then go up to the next level cap, etc. But anyways, just to get off that little rant there, I think obviously the inspiration is there.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
Like the world is huge. It's massive. You know what I mean? The same thing with World of Warcraft. The world is massive. I will say that this Shangri-La Frontier feels more like what I was just explaining, not the classic WoW. It feels more like, oh, you're just going through this shit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
The world is enormous.
The
In
world
Shangri-La
is
Frontier.
enormous.
It's enormous.
100%. So it feels more like all the expansions are already dropped. Let's say World of Warcraft dropped and it was all the expansions at once.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Shangri-La Frontier feels like.
Oh, yeah.
So it feels a little chaotic at times in comparison. Because I feel like they're not building the world anymore. At least where we are in Shangri-La Frontier. We're just seeing him work. We're seeing him progress. We're seeing him get his weapons. We're seeing him get stronger. We're seeing him face these monsters that are strong or powerful, but we don't really see him getting to that level. We don't really see him getting to that era. We don't see the travel point. You get what I'm saying? It's like, oh, so for example, they beat Weathermon, and then he was like, oh, we need this in order to create a new weapon or something like that. All right, let's just go get the new weapon. And then automatically they were there.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too. I'm just saying in comparison to World of Warcraft,
You don't
like,
see
I
the
feel like
journey.
you don't get the journey.
Okay. And that's actually not I'm not going to say it's a bad perspective at all, because from a certain, like, we've seen other series that'll go that, like, Lord of the Rings part of it where the journey is the story. The journey is clearly not the story here in Shangri-La Frontier. It's the acts that they're doing, the action that's happening.
Which is strange because like it's almost like a 30 episode season.
But there's a lot going on. There's a lot of mystery of them figuring out the world. And like I'm on season 2 now. Like I just started season 2, so they just formed the alliance with the
I'm not on season 2 yet.
Okay, so
I didn't start season 2.
Cool.
I will be. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
I will be.
I'm only like an episode or 2 in, so you're not missing much. But there's a point where I'm like at least going from season 1 that I'm watching this and I'm saying to myself, between him going into the world, between the skills that Sun Raku has clearly shown, I love the team up that Sun Raku has with Katsu, and then Pentagon. Like their interactions, and again, this is where playing one of those.
I hate her name, by the way.
Listen, it's such a wild thing too, because you look at it from their outside, like IRL lives, and he's a dude at his house chilling, playing on a game. She's a supermodel, and he's a pro gamer. Like, and it's just, and they're all chilling in the world. Like, yo, come on, we gonna go here, we gonna do this, we gonna fight that guy, we gonna fight this. Like, it reminds me.
It was a weird team up at first for me, but then it started coming together. Yeah,
I didn't think it was. I mean, they gave us the backstory.
We
of
got
other
the backstory,
games, which once I got the backstory, I was like, all right, so they know each other.
I was okay with it, yes.
Yeah,
but at first it was a weird team up to me.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you this:
the personalities didn't click.
Oh, you think so?
They did as they like progressed for me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They just seemed like they clashed a lot.
But I think that's why they're more rivals than teammates.
Yes,
like,
they're definitely more rivals than teammates.
It feels like, and this is where I'm curious to see how like their stories as the three who not only defeated Weathermon, but then got the announcement to the entire game. I felt like
that was wild, by the way.
I was playing Apex Legends, bro. Like, that was insane.
The kill leader has been killed.
Bro, they let the whole game know. You know how many people are in that game?
Yeah. Now you got a target on your back by like everybody. That was grimy. I feel like they did
number 1 headband. They got the number 2 headband right now.
Yeah, they got the number 1 headband.
It's one of the wild things to watch that series. And like I said, I've seen SAO, excuse me, is like the one that, started it on. We talked about Sword Art Online before. But the thing that I feel like series that come after SAO that have like flourished in has been they can figure out if they're going to be a story that focuses on the in real life, like consequences of the actions of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to focus on the game itself and consequences within the nature of the game? Or are they going to literally just focus on the gameplay? And I feel like Shangri-La Frontier,
it's more about the gameplay.
They're way more of the gameplay. Way more of the game. That's the focus. And that's why I forget sometimes that
they're in a game.
Bro, some Raku don't be walking around just with a bird head on the time. Like
you be thinking like, oh, this is the anime that we're watching.
Yes.
This is just an anime that we're watching. This is a world. It's not actually a game within this anime. So yeah, I completely understand.
I feel bad that when he dies for literally like 0.5 seconds. I'm like, yo, some Raku died. Oh, that's right. He's about to get rest.
It's not really real.
He's just gonna get rest. It's okay.
I mean, they kind of really killed the dying action with those revives during the fight with Weatherman. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That the revives,
a lot of revives.
I honestly, I felt like I was facing Lance for the first time, or if I was in Kingdom Hearts and I was facing Ansem for the first time, because you just sitting around, heal, run around, heal. Oh my God, I'm about to die. Heal, Donald, heal me, bro. Like, it felt very much like I was back in Kingdom Hearts. I appreciate how much it felt like a boss fight too. Because that's the thing, like it felt like a boss fight.
It did, and it was a very clever fight. Very I like that you couldn't just beat him. There was a way to beat him. It's not just like, oh, let's kill it doing damage or dodging spells or anything like that. They were like, you had to do certain things in order just to get past one phase of beating this high level boss, and then the next phase. I really enjoyed that. Honestly, I would like to see video games incorporate a little bit things like that more often.
That would be fire.
There's more strategy within like beating our bosses versus just beating them the fuck up until they die.
Yo, this South Park's not moving. What's this South Park not moving? One thing I will say, when he brought that horse down, that was the part where I was like, yo,
what's funny as hell.
I was like, yo, what's about to happen? Why is there a giant horse here? But the final fight with Weatherman and leading up to all of that with Pentagon laying their old crew out to dry, which was hilarious, because they got jumped, bro. They got jumped something crazy.
Deserved, though.
Agreed. You can't be going around killing people like that, but they got jumped something crazy.
Yeah, they were doing some grimy stuff. That whole entire thing, yeah, deserved.
So, but the way that Pentagon played them, to be like, all right, now we're going to also go here and we're going to do what we need to do. I thought that storyline and they talked about it. Pentagon got really invested in the storyline and so wanted to help and all that. I thought it was all right. I'll be honest, from that perspective, I thought it was all right because there's still so many benefits from beating a Colossus like that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I get you're emotionally invested in the story. Yes, I understand that like you want to put Weatherman to rest and all that stuff, but let's be honest, you're playing a video game. You're trying to beat the boss. Like let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah, but I completely agree because it was just like, and also this is why I say like sometimes it clashes a little bit, like them as a trio, because like one that also clashed from my perspective of Pentagon.
Fair, yeah.
I completely clashed.
Like I giving Pentagon a heart, bro.
Yeah, out of the blue when she been fucking up people's games for like mad long. Like,
why y'all giving her a heart, bro? I don't want to. Why? Like, I kind of like Demon Pentagon a little bit. I ain't gonna.
Yeah, I like more Demon Pentagon than like Heart Pentagon. Like, but I do want to switch over back to what we were talking about though. Invincible.
Oh yeah.
They gotta kill him.
So
Oliver gotta die.
So here's the thing.
Oliver gotta die.
And I want to give full disclosure. AU knows this. I'm just giving full disclosure for y'all listening. I have read Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
So I read Invincible.
He has more knowledge than I do in terms of what's going to happen and what's not going to happen.
And I read it like 5 years before it came out, and it's y'all. Oh my God, put y'all.
We ain't ready, y'all.
Y'all put y'all.
We're not ready. We're not ready. But I will tell you, Oliver got to die. I would have killed Oliver.
So
I would have killed my little brother.
what was the thing? Obviously, when he fought, and shout out to everybody that hasn't gone ahead and watched the first 3 episodes of Invincible, because we are going to be discussing it. So that's your spoiler alert right there. So he fights and completely and utterly obliterates the Maulers. Is that when you saying Oliver no, or are you going way before that? Because there were signs that Oliver was like trending this way, bro.
So there were definitely signs, and I think one of the signs, or maybe not signs to that extent, he was clearly a knucklehead, and he was not listening at all at any point in time.
Yeah, that's a hard-headed ass boy, bro. He's hard-headed. He's hard.
100%. So but that's fine. He's a little boy. He got his power super early, and guess what? Realistically, it ain't nobody there to check him except for Mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yep.
And if you ask me personally, I think and if you can, by the way, again, spoilers, because I kind of forgot how the fuck did Oliver get here again?
Yeah, I got you. So Omni-Man when Omni-Man left Earth, he went to another like bug planet and basically became king of the bug planet. And he got married on the bug planet, married to a bug. They had a kid, and that's where Oliver is. So when Mark got visited by an alien saying, "Hey, Invincible, we need your help," it was actually Omni-Man that sent them to go get Mark. So then when Mark got there, he sees his dad and is like, "Yo, what the hell? You got like, hi, I missed you, but also what the hell?" And then that's when the Viltrumite showed up. They fought Mark and Omni-Man. Omni-Man got captured. Mark got the ultimatum, and then the bug mom was like, "Hey," because remember the bug species died really quick.
Yes.
So the mom was like, "Hey, I thought your dad was gonna be here to help raise him. Your dad's in prison. We're all going to be dead in 20 minutes. Please take him back home with you."
That's why he's also growing so fast, too.
Yep. And that's why he's growing so fast.
But that's interesting because it's such the opposite of a Viltrumite. So I wonder, just at least from my perspective, how long Oliver is going to live. I wonder if he lives just like a normal human life span, whereas Mark is going to live a very long time.
So the thing about that is, and I think Oliver is in a similar spot to Mark because of the Viltrumite DNA. Like once you're a Viltrumite,
but he grew fast as shit.
He did, but then once his powers kicked in, that's his Viltrumite blood kicking in.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once his powers kick in, this Viltrumite DNA start like, "Yo, fight back, bro. Fight back."
Yeah. It won. He might not even be purple anymore at some point in time. That Viltrumite DNA is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really wild. But so just to kind of go back to my point where that I was trying to establish, because I kind of really forgot where Oliver came from. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he's gonna be stronger than Mark. He seems to have like a much crazier latent ability. Like he's really strong.
So one thing that I think that at least from an Oliver Mark perspective, that's really interesting. And I love the way that Robert Kirkman did this both in the graphic novels and obviously how they're doing it in the show. We forget that Mark got his powers super late. Mark got his powers. So, and that's a point that is super important as far as where Mark was in his maturity by the time he got his powers.
Yeah, because I feel like Oliver's going to be stronger because he got his powers earlier. So therefore, he gets to develop those powers in a much longer span of time than Mark was actually able to do.
Mark has had his powers for 2 years. Mark got his powers at 17. He's now 19. Mark has had.
Don't get me wrong, that training clearly helped.
Oh my god! Like, and I want to get to Cecil because I want to get your thoughts on Cecil.
We don't get to Cecil,
but in my head, well,
but kill Oliver. Because that was my original point.
Kill Oliver being your original point. But you
kill
need him,
Oliver.
Bro. You need him.
You can't, like, if you have to convince someone that killing people indiscriminately is bad, you're not all the way there in the head. Like, you got, like, and this is where, like, I feel like he's more, if Nolan had Oliver first, it would have been a wrap.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. That's very okay. So
kill Oliver because like
very good point.
if we talking about latent ability, maybe Oliver is never going to be stronger than Mark. Maybe he does it. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Maybe they like you get what I'm saying. Like maybe it just looks like that from my perspective at this point in time. But overall, I feel like Oliver really has not just like the Viltrumite like strength and everything. He has the Viltrumite mentality.
And here's the thing. One,
and no one's been alive a long time. And Oliver already has that whole entire mentality, and he's only been alive for like a few years.
But again, this is where it comes into the standpoint of the maturity when they got their powers. Mark was able to be raised human. That is such a massive thing that Mark's humanity is really what gives him his compass.
Yes, 100%. And I get that. I understand that.
But Oliver doesn't have that. They're trying to give Oliver that compass. But if you are, now granted, it's different because if you're a kid and you get powers, you're immediately going to be like, wow, I'm a kid. I got powers. Let me go do this stuff. But when you're as strong as they are, I'm actually not surprised Oliver got to the standpoint of, especially from all the things that Oliver has, again, grown up so fast and seen all the things that have happened to his family, to Mark, to his dad, why Oliver, with all the trauma, whether or not, again, growing up so fast, seeing all the stuff that's going on, Oliver is going to be like, yo, why can't I just take these dudes out? I got the power to take the people out that are hurting people that I care about and love. Like, it's a
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's a level of savagery that we're not expected to see out of a child, but also he has a child's mentality. He has a child's mentality about this.
You are 1,000% correct in everything you're saying. However, it still does not change the fact that that mentality is still there, and he is too strong
to
have that mentality in any capacity.
So the question is, can you change it?
But that's the question, but that's also the threat, and that's the danger.
So risk reward. Is it enough?
No, it's not.
You don't think it's enough reward?
It's not. It's not. Look at what Nolan just did. That was one Viltrumite.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think you need.
Imagine Oliver just goes into hiding somehow, some way, whatever. 20 years later, I don't know. Let's say Mark dies, and now Oliver like, I bet it ain't nobody here now to stop me.
Yeah. No,
that is a wrap.
But again, I think you need, and it goes back to my point, and this is a perfect segue to get into like Cecil's standpoint. What is your, like you said, the whole episode, you can either be the good guys or you can be the guy who saved the guys who saves the world. Planet.
You can't be both.
You can't be both. And this is where that gray area comes in, where Cecil as a character, his North Star, his compass is making sure the Earth is safe no matter what. That's his compass. And I think that is going to
understand Cecil's point.
I cannot understand people that don't see Cecil's standpoint.
I understand Cecil's standpoint. I think this is where Cecil's wrong. I think Cecil is strictly wrong because he is using that logic from the standpoint of just being a human. And I get that. He's a human. However, Mark does get the option to be like, I'm going to be the good guy and I get to save the world because he has the ability to do that. So you don't get to, as Cecil, I don't think you get to try to tell Mark that he can't do both because that's not fair, because Mark does have the ability to be the good guy and save the world.
So my spin on that, and I'm not disagreeing you that he does have the ability, because Mark is the strongest superhero on the planet. At this point, he's the strongest superhero on the planet. So I'm not disagreeing with the fact that he has the potential to have the ability to do both, but we've seen that there's a lot of gray, not only in life, but in that world specifically. Him killing Angstrom Levy and like beating Angstrom Levy's head to a pulp, which to this point, the part of that fight that always gets me isn't the fact he's sitting there wailing on dude. It's the fact when Adrian Levy put his hands up to stop him.
To stop, and he pushed his hand away and
kept
then
on going.
proceeded to
I was
keep
like,
beating his ass.
Oh,
Now,
they did a really
I
good
will
job.
say, to Mark's point, though, in the title of the episode was, I thought you were stronger.
Yes. And,
so he 1000% did not try to kill him, but he did. And that's the point. The point is you still killed somebody.
But it saved the planet and it saved your family. So you can't, and that's not a good guy thing to do, quote unquote. I look at it as, and this was something that, for me, Mark as a character, and I want to see how they do it in the series, Mark's North Star is in such a place that the only character that, at least that I have previous knowledge with, that kind of makes sense to me in that way is Superman. Like, he has that North Star in a way that it is a little Boy Scouty, but it's done in a way that doesn't leave a lot of room for gray, which was something that
implementing that obviously allowed more character development for Mark, and they needed to.
Yes, absolutely. But I mean, they had to. And I mean, do you think if the same thing that he said to Cecil, because he jumps on Cecil as soon as he sees him now. It's on sight with Cecil.
It's literally so fast.
It's on sight.
Crazy.
Bro, Cecil,
and I respect the fuck out of it, too.
Cecil was just trying to be nice to Oliver, bro. He was like, yo, you good, kid? Like, it's all right.
That's not the fucking point. I told your ass to stay the fuck away, and that's it. We're not debating this. Bro, you put a thing in my head. So you tried to fry my brain.
Okay, here's now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of this conversation.
I know we were going to get there. I was just waiting for it. But yeah,
is Cecil wrong in doing that? Because
yes, he's wrong. He's wrong, and this is where he's wrong, and this is where he was wrong in the two ways. One, he's wrong to not allow Mark to try to do both, because again, Cecil is looking at this from a capacity and a standpoint of just being a human. Mark's not. He has the ability to do both.
But Mark has humanity. Mark has humanity.
Hold on. Yes, 100%. But he has the ability to do both potentially. So I think he's wrong there. And I think he's wrong to put that in Mark's head, because Mark has done enough and proven himself enough to the point where he should be trusted more. Mark went against his father and almost died. If Nolan didn't, he would have died. If Nolan didn't look down and be like, on some Dracula Castlevania shit, and was like, I'm killing my son. If that did not occur, Mark was going to die. Period. He still almost died. So when you see Mark go against everything he's ever known, you see Mark go against the person he's always wanted to be. He wanted to be his father, and he still went against him to the death. How dare you? How dare you not trust somebody who did that? That's crazy. That's grimy.
I look at it as being smart. I look at it as having a contingency, making sure that you can't have a savior. And I think that's where Cecil's standpoint has always been. You can't.
But he's also trying to be the savior. So, like, what do you mean?
I don't think Cecil's trying to be the savior. I think
I don't mean like in terms of like, oh, throw me a parade, I saved the world. I just mean in terms of like, he's behind the scenes making sure the world gets saved.
Yes, and the world is not, you can't do that in a black and white world, because the world's not in black and white. Because like, even going back to that whole story of like, because I can understand the point of Mark is supposed to be trusted more. But
yes,
here's the issue.
If you put that in Oliver's head, I'd understand.
But here's the issue with
he gave
that.
Oliver more grace than Mark.
Because Oliver's younger.
No, I don't know. Kill Oliver. Punch a hole in his chest.
But the thing, because here's my thing about it when it comes to this conversation. This is, again, why Invincible is so gas as a story. Because there is such a moral gray line here that you have to see. Because I look at Cecil, and I think he's stupid. I would think he would have been stupid to not have some type of contingency in place. Do I think he was a little quick on the trigger? Yes. I will give you that. I do think he was a little bit quick on the trigger in the sense of, okay, Mark has not shown anything to show you that he's going to react that way. He did not like the Reanimen being there, but Cecil had to have the Reanimen there. He had to create, because if he doesn't have the Reanimen, Doc Seismic wins, because they were about to lose. They were going to lose.
Yes. So I'm not saying that like, oh, Cecil is a bad guy overall or anything like that because he's playing within the gray. Like he has to play within the gray. And I understand that. And like, I'm all for it actually. However, certain things at minimum, Cecil is fucking up on. You can't hide that information. Darkwing was out here killing motherfuckers.
Yo, Darkwing was sending them to the Shadow Realm, bro.
The Shadow Realm, boy. Killing motherfuckers. We don't even know where they went.
Yo, bro,
so like so you can't just randomly bring back Darkwing after he was out here killing motherfuckers like that. And then two, you're gonna bring back the Reaniman, which ultimately is like, okay, you didn't put the guy away that pretty much mutilated an innocent person. Innocent people. He mutilated innocent people. And that man is still out here creating that.
Because you need him.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he doesn't need them or they may not need the Reaniman or they may not need Darkwing, but to hide it. That's where you're wrong. You put something in Mark's head secretly and then started acting like you was afraid of him. Mark ain't never did nothing to you in any capacity to make you afraid of Mark.
But he's got the potential to. And Cecil's got to take into account the potential.
Then why Cecil need to start putting chips in everybody's head in the whole entire world? Because everybody got the potential to kill somebody.
Kill somebody, a person, not the whole. Him and his dad fought and they leveled Chicago, bro. The whole city of Chicago got leveled.
I get where you're coming from. I get what you're saying, but my point being is that like you can't look at it like that for like everyone. Like he's trying to play in the gray, but he's not doing a good job at it. If you ask me personally, not in terms of like the people who should be informed about this stuff, he's not informing them. Everybody should have known about that shit. They should have known Darkwing was still alive. They'd have like, he's in jail, but we're trying to rehabilitate him. He's an asset.
I see what you mean.
He's an asset. He's in jail, but we're doing our best to try to rehabilitate him. And then maybe they're in trouble. They bring him out or some shit like that. And then guess what? Maybe they put him back in jail in terms of like a
Suicide Squad situation.
Cool. I don't think Mark would have an issue with that.
See, and I do. That's the issue. That's where I think this is where Mark doesn't play enough in the gray. Because his moral compass, I don't think would have allowed him to. He would have got to the same point. We would have got to the same point where Mark looks at it from the standpoint of you have to cherish human life in a way that once someone takes a human life in a way that they have, because apparently it's okay when he does it, but you have to allow for that gray in a way that I don't think Mark does. That's the thing that always Cecil had
the Boy Scouty part. And I get
that's
it.
That's my issue.
And Mark might have had an issue with it. And I agree with you. He probably still would have had an issue with it. But I think he would have had less of an issue with it knowing that this man was still locked up until he was needed.
That's
I
hard
think
to say.
I agree. It's hard to even think about. It's hard to fully say 100%, but it's also hard to say 100% that Mark would have had an issue with it. Like we're talking in the gray. We're talking in what ifs.
Yeah.
So I just mean that Cecil overall is fucking up because he is not communicating. He's hiding too many things that he knew would eventually be volatile to everything he's trying to do. Cecil fucked up. He split the whole entire, like, what are they called again? The Guardians of the
Guardians of the Globe.
The Guardians are now split because you were hiding information. So
the hiding information part is an interesting thing that I'll be honest with you. When
he has to hide some stuff, and I understand.
He's Nick Fury, bro. He's
Nick
Fury.
Understand.
He's got to know all the cards, and you can't see all the cards, but he got to hold them.
And I agree. He is Nick Fury, and like he has all the cards, and he has to have all the cards. But at the same time, don't fuck up, because guess what? As soon as you reveal a card, and everybody got an issue with it, especially let's say the strongest motherfucker in the planet, you have a much larger issue now.
I'll say this, and this is something that I thought was really cool, and I did some research on this because I was honestly curious, because in the Invincible comics, we don't get Cecil's backstory in the way that they showed it in that episode. But
I like that. I like this backstory.
But I love this backstory because I was like, and I'm sitting here watching, I'm like, I don't remember none of this.
It gave us more. It gave us more for him.
But here's the thing that was really cool. And again, I did some research on this. There's another, like, and you get this when you read it. I would, and I said honestly, I would recommend reading it after like we wrap up here. I was telling my brother-in-law the same thing. There's other parts of that comic book world in Invincible that they kind of pepper into throughout the Invincible comics. And Cecil's backstory actually comes from another comic. He gets introduced in another comic, and he's in that world leading the, that global defense team.
Mm-hmm.
He's in that world, but he gets introduced in another comic, and we get his backstory from another comic, a comic I never even heard of until I researched it yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And then, so like Cecil doesn't get introduced until in the comics. Cecil gets introduced after the fight between Omni-Man and Invincible. That's when Cecil.
That's cool, actually.
That, bro, blown away. This is what I'm telling you. Gas.
That's cool.
Gas.
That's cool.
But
it's also a comic, so like that makes more sense.
It gives you
it makes more sense. No, that's cool. I like that.
I like Cecil's character, and I'll say this: I like Cecil's character at this point in the storyline because it's painting the picture that somebody's got to play that role.
Yes,
Cecil has 100%. No problem being the bad guy if it means everyone else is okay. It's a risk-reward situation with him, and I think nobody else plays that game as good as Cecil does. Now, granted,
I completely agree.
He may have. I think he was too quick on the trigger with Mark.
Hell yeah, he was too quick on the trigger. I would have never, ever even showed that card or showed that hand in any capacity until I knew for an absolute certain that I had to do it. And he did not have to do that at that point in time. He did not. I don't give a fuck.
But he did need to have the contraption in his head. He did need to have it in his head.
I won't say yes or no to that. I'm gonna disagree because one, Mark never displayed anything like that. He's done enough to try and save the fucking world in the way that you can't, Cecil. So like, I get it. I understand the logic behind it. I don't agree with it. But if he was gonna put the contraption in his head, which he did, at minimum, don't fucking use this shit until you know you have to. He did not have to use that there.
He really did not. And that's why I think he was too quick on the trigger with it.
He did not have to do that.
Mark was going to dislike the Reanimen being used, but you got to use them. Mark was going to dislike the fact that Darkwing was back, but you need every bullet you got in the chamber, bro. You do.
Yeah,
you need every single.
We got a world of Viltrumites out there. A world like we are not prepared.
They trying to come here, bro. They trying to come
here. Exactly. And here's the thing. And this is where I feel like, okay, you can have all the cards and you don't have to give all the cards away. I agree. If you're the man who has all the cards, you're not supposed to give all the cards away. Some things you have to, though. You got to let up a little bit in some regard because now everyone's divided. And that's the last thing you need. So like if you told everybody, I think if you told Mark straight up, Mark would have never liked it, whatever. He's like, but I need to do this, Mark. Like the world could easily end if 4 Viltrumites come.
4?
Like what?
2?
No. But I'm just saying, like I'm even worse. So my point being is that like Mark, you don't like this, and I'm telling you this because I trust you. But this fucking sucks, but I have to do it, Mark. You can't stop all of them.
He also doesn't trust Mark in a way that, and I think Omni-Man did that. And I like the
Omni-Man did that. Agreed. Yes.
I like the backstory of him meeting Omni-Man for the first time because it shows Cecil never trusted Omni-Man.
He never trusted Omni-Man.
Oh no. He's like, what you mean this bull? This some bullshit, bro. I know you ain't coming down here to save us. What you mean? Bro,
I mean, they are.
Yeah, saving their way. I love how he.
I agree, save in their way for sure. But I can guarantee you one thing: if you're under the Viltrumite Empire or whatever, like a lot of shit stops. You really do prosper. Like
it's an empire, though. So it
is an empire. You got to do what they say. But guess what? Like niggas ain't dying. There ain't no more wars.
Yeah, but I don't know how I would feel knowing that
you don't have you didn't do it yourself. Like someone else is doing it for you. The control aspect, like
it is the control aspect, but I also think about it from just like the overall rule of my life. Like I don't want to have to think about somebody just showing up in the blink. Because the one thing from season 2 that still was so wild, which is why I appreciated the way they did Amber and Mark's breakup in season 2 because
that was necessary.
When they went to dinner and Anissa just showed up, it was like, yo, listen, either come with me right now, I'm ripping this girl's head off. And she can just
she said I'm gonna rip her spine out of her fucking head.
And she can just do it. And the girl sitting there like, Mark. I can't have a plan for that, bro.
And I understand where you're coming from.
I don't want to be in the grocery store.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna either steal these eggs or I'm gonna rip your heart out and show it to you. Like, no, I'm good, bro.
It's a good deterrent. Niggas ain't gonna be out here stealing. Niggas ain't gonna be out here doing crime. It's a great deterrent.
It's an excessive deterrent.
It is, but sometimes excessive. We talking about gray areas. The Viltrumite Empire, like, the only thing I don't like about the Viltrumite Empire, if I'm being completely honest with you, is that they don't give you a choice to allow them to help or not. If the Viltrumite Empire was like, listen, if you allow us to come here and be under our rule, this is what you're going to get for it. But this is how we're going to do it. You can say yes or no. And if they I understand, but I'm saying this is what I'm saying about the Viltrumite Empire. Like, if I was the head of the Viltrumite Empire, I'd be like, all right, you don't want the help? Cool, you don't get the help. But everybody else, if you say yes, you got to follow the fucking line because this is how it's going to be done, and this is how I'm going to keep everybody safe, and this is how you're going to prosper.
I think that's how empires and like conquerors look at it initially. I think that's like the theory behind anyone that's ever been like a quote unquote conqueror. Like, hey, we'll spread all this cheer and good wealth, and if you want to come underneath, come on.
Well, I feel like that's just propaganda.
That's what I'm saying. But I feel like that's the theory of what it's supposed to be, but it never works out that way. It never works out like the theory is supposed to. And I think
I feel like most niggas who make an empire, they just want to conquer shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like one of the best things that I ever heard somebody talk about the Viltrumites was like when the Viltrumites first get introduced, everyone's like, "Oh, they're Kryptonian." No, bro, they're Saiyans. They're Saiyans.
They're Saiyans.
They're Saiyans. They are Saiyans.
They're Saiyans for sure. They have a war mentality for sure. But I will say they're not exactly. They're Saiyans, but they're Saiyans with like Kryptonian tendencies. Yes. And what I mean by that is like, say what you will, Nessa showed patience. And she listen, I understand it was short patience, but that's not the point. She showed some patience with Mark. She was like, bro, this is what we doing. Let's go somewhere. Let's go talk. We could talk about this shit. You ain't gonna like it. I might have to beat your ass, but we gonna talk at least. Sans wasn't talking about shit. Them niggas came up and blew up the planet, and that was it. They came and killed your fucking species and then blew your planet up.
Fair.
You know more than I do. I can only speak off, but I can only speak off of base of what I'm seeing. You get what I'm saying? What I know. From that perspective, I feel like I'm almost spot on for right now. That could easily change as we get closer towards, the series developing and we get more about the Viltrumites, but like, and I'm pretty sure it will change, but as of right now, they don't seem completely unreasonable. The only unreasonable thing that I don't agree with is that they don't give you the option to like not be conquered.
You want to not be conquered? Oh, that's hilarious.
Exactly. But like, because they kind of put it as the guise of like, oh, we're here to help. But then it's like, if you're here to help, there should be an option involved.
So I wanted to just ask one question to you outside of the Viltrumite Mark Cecil situation. What did you think about duplicating Immortal? Because that was one of the other ones that, as I'm watching the show, they did a really good job of portraying that from the graphic novel. But what's your take on how Duplicate went about doing what she did?
I don't like what Duplicate did.
Why not?
And here's the thing. It's not that like, and what I say by what she did, I meant like, just don't come back. That's fucked up.
Making me think you were dead this whole time.
Make it like you made everybody that cared about you think you were dead, yo, and then you just randomly pop back up, and now you're married to the Immortal and shit. It's just like it's just weird, and I think it's also weird for Immortal to like Immortal doing some real like simpish shit. If you ask me personally, like you're like, ain't nothing wrong with being a simp, but like I feel like you can't be letting simp shit come into play when you are supposed to be like the leader of the Guardians. Like you are that lead factor. You know what I mean? So you can't be out here letting your emotions and all this stuff deter you from being what you're supposed to be.
So that's like an interesting point that you bring up there, because I don't think I don't look at the Immortal, especially at this time, as the leader. He's the strongest of the Guardians, but I don't look at him as the leader. Black Samson's the leader. Black Samson.
Hear me out.
Them together
I agree that he does that. He's the glue. But like the same way when we talk about the boys, for example, the lead, we know who the leader is and we know who the glue is.
Okay. All right. So it's on a much more even scale, if you want to put it, because Black Samson got his powers back. So it's a much more like Butcher versus what's dude's from the boys' name?
I can't even think right now.
Willie's coming to mind, but it's not Willie.
It's not. Willie,
oh my God, Jack
it's right
Wade.
there.
It's Jack.
It's
Wade
literally
there.
on the tip of my tongue and it's bugging me out. Frenchie.
No, it's Frenchie.
I know it's not Frenchie. I know it's not Frenchie.
Frenchie, Kimiko, Butcher, Mother's Milk.
It's Mother's Milk,
Huey,
but I can't think.
Huey.
No. So
it is Huey.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I wouldn't say Huey's the glue that he in terms of this comparison.
Oh,
you're talking about like 1 and 2.
MM would be
Yeah,
MM is the glue.
Is the glue.
Yeah.
So like he's the one who gets them together. He's the one who keeps everything like copacetic.
Fair. Okay.
Huey's the heart.
Huey's the compass, the moral compass of the boys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's the heart, MM is the glue, and then Butcher's the leader. Mm-hmm. So in this aspect here, I would say Immortal's more like the leader because he's been around the longest. He has more like experience, everything. I mean, he's fucking immortal. And then Samson is MM. He's the glue.
That's actually a really good point. I love the way you put that, because it's actually a really, really good point. The way that, because I thought Black Samson was that like leader, but he doesn't take the same leadership role in the same way that the Immortal is looked at as like the Immortal says something, that's what we doing. And like Black Samson comes in and is like, yo, what y'all doing? We gonna come together. We gonna talk about this. Even when they were leaving, he went to the Immortal.
He went to them. He was like, you're gonna let this go down like that? That's why that's what I'm saying. He went to Immortal, like, you're gonna let this happen like that? Really? Mm-hmm. Like he's trying to talk some sense into him. So that's why I don't like that. I don't like that. You disappeared too, like that was wrong.
I think that Duplicate and Immortal's relationship is one of. I
also think it's weird, but
I think it's one of my favorite from the series. And Kate said it when they first started dating, was like, nobody else knows what this is like to die over and over and over again, because those are shadow clones, bro. Everything that one learns, Kate Prime knows.
Yeah, it comes back.
They experience all of that. She dies a lot, and that was the thing I was looking at in the fight that they had.
That is literally her superpower, that she can die.
She can die. That's it. Like, and when I was watching the episode, it was insane, because like when they had to fight the Reanimant, and they were all doing their powers and everything, and Shrinking Ray, who I think honestly her power is gross, because you just go into people and blow them up inside. Like, but watching that fight with Duplicate and seeing her, and how many times just in that fight alone her clones died, and her clones and she doesn't die peacefully, bro. She gets ripped. She
gets messed up
because she's a regular person. Like, I think
she's just not as strong. She's stronger than like the average human for sure, but like
not by much.
No, but I'm just saying in terms of like the people they fight, she's like almost human pretty much.
Yes.
So I get it. Like, but what I mean is just stay away then. Just don't come back.
Staying away is not a bad way
just don't come back and go live a normal life then, dude.
But would you rather the people, like, I look at it from the people on the Guardians, like, would I rather want to know Kate is alive staying away, or do I want to go around thinking that she's dead? That's the point and I saw the reaction from like Monster Girl ran, oh my God, Kate, and gave her a hug. Like, they genuinely missed her. So I think it was
messed up. Just stay away then.
I think it's more they missed her because they thought she was dead, more than they thought, oh my God, she's coming back to fight with us. Because
yes, 100%.
If I think someone's dead and then they come back, I'm gonna be happy that they're alive, but I'm also gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, why'd you do that?
That was grimy. And I feel like she also didn't have to do it like that. If she said she wanted out, bro, she could have just said she wanted out and been gone.
She thought that she needed to do that, though. That's the part that's that's the part I want to know for what, for who, for when.
We don't get anything for that. Like, it's just like
I think we do.
I hope they give us something, because I thought it was weird.
Well, overall, how you been liking the series so far? I know it's only
Great
the first
series.
episode.
Still, don't matter. Great series. Honestly, this is gonna go down as one of the best series I've ever seen.
Yes.
They're doing an amazing job. They're doing an amazing job. I can't. There's some things that I don't necessarily like within the show, but like it's not because it's done poorly. It's just like when you have something great going on, there has to be multiple levels of conversation about whatever the hell is going on this TV screen.
Facts. There
has to be multiple levels. Like the same way, I don't like what Duplicate did, but like it's a part of the story. It created something for us to talk about. It was controversial. It doesn't not work. You get what I'm saying?
On the team.
Yeah. So sorry, I got
and that's so
you want to know
the wild thing about it is, yo, fighting a sneeze is crazy. Fight back.
I am.
Yo, one of the wild things about it is where they couldn't have turned her away. She's married to the Immortal now. The Immortal's gonna just show and be like, "Yo, she's on the team. What you gonna fight the Immortal?"
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I don't like about the Immortal. I think the Immortal, first and foremost, I think he's a little bitch. Like we've
seen that to be the case throughout.
Yeah, man. He's the leader, but he doesn't have any leadership qualities. And like, you want people to follow you and all this other stuff and whatnot, but you don't display like good leadership skills at all.
You just yell at people.
He just yells at people in an angry voice. Like, I know Nolan had a great time beating his head in. Like, I know he did.
I honestly, I
bet Nolan was super annoyed by him. I think when he killed everyone else, he probably felt something. I'm not gonna lie to you. Nolan probably felt something when he killed everybody else at some point in time. I don't think he gave a fuck about ripping Nolan's head, Immortal's head off.
He definitely felt something killing Red Rocket. Because
like for sure
they like hung out with Red Rocket and his wife.
Like,
he felt something when he had to do that to Red Rocket. But I just think Invincible as a whole, we're at the tip of the iceberg. Like we may have just hit the iceberg, but we still at the tip of it because there are so many other things that they about to bring back. That's why I'm curious to see how this whole season is going to wrap up because he's got his blue suit. Which how you like the suit?
I like it. But now I just feel like he looks like Blue Beetle, so I kind of prefer the old one.
Okay, all right. I like where Mark goes with the blue suit as far as like his character growth, but I appreciate. I like the yellow suit more. I do think the yellow suit is way more iconic. And last thing I want to get on here, we're gonna get off this Invincible talk real quick. One thing that I just want to talk to you about, AU, and it made me laugh because I texted it to you yesterday. I'll just give a little backstory while when we set this up. I was like at home last night waiting for the Super Bowl to start, obviously. And I'm sitting down, I'm chilling with my wife, and I like, all right, I got like 20 minutes. Let me sit here and put something on. So I put on Dragon Ball Z. I'm just sitting there watching Dragon Ball Z, and I'm right at the part. I was rewatching it, and I'm right at the part where Cell just blew himself up, and it sparked a conversation in me that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see what AU think about this. If I'm King Kai and I'm chilling at my house on my planet, and I'm watching the fight for the fate of the world or for the fate of the Earth happening. And all of a sudden, somebody who I care about, someone who I train, someone who I look at as my pupil, shows up with a ticking time bomb and says, yeah, sorry, and blows me to kingdom come, I'm going to never talk to him again. King Kai is well within his rights to never talk to Goku again. And I don't think I'm crazy in saying that. That's just my personal opinion. It came up while I was thinking about it.
It was funny that you said that because I have felt this way and I've had this thought. I had that thought a long time ago about, first and foremost, I never liked Goku as a main character. I want to put this out here.
Okay.
Like, it's not, I don't dislike Goku, but I never liked him as a main character. He's a piece of shit. Like, he's obviously an overall nice person, but he does some selfish fucking shit. He is a selfish ass motherfucker.
So I think it's more his impulsiveness makes him selfish because I think Goku never looks at the consequences of his actions.
He doesn't.
Outside of fighting, he doesn't. He's a genius when it comes to fighting, and he does break down everything inside of like what's the situation that's happening when it comes to fighting. When it comes to just existing, absolutely not. He's like, what do I feel like doing?
Exactly. Like it just, and I completely agree with you because like And then you mentioned too that King Kai never came back.
King Kai
He's
never
been dead.
King Kai is still dead. And and Super and GT and every other
He is still
iteration
dead.
in the movies, King Kai got a halo on his head.
Grimy.
Goku has been brought back to life like 3 different times. So, I mean, if I'm King Kai, and obviously it didn't go down like this because I even think about, remember, and this is something I was having a conversation with somebody recently about the filler episodes in Dragon Ball Z, because the filler episodes in Dragon Ball Z are solid. Because I forgot who it was. Somebody mentioned to me recently that they had never seen the Goku and Piccolo get their driver's license episode. And
oh man, that episode is to this day.
That's like one of the best filler episodes of an anime ever. And so like they were saying like, oh, I've never seen like the filler episodes and and it makes me think of the PyCon filler arc. When
I love that shit.
It's a great filler arc. The tournament when he fought PyCon, that's a great.
That's one of my favorite tournament arcs. Is one of my favorite like filler arcs in general. Like, and I love out of it. We got PyCon. PyCon is one of my favorite. Like, not only Dragon Ball Z characters, he was just one of the coolest characters to me.
Yo,
I love
PyCon. Just sitting there like, yo, what up? Like, he's not Piccolo, but at the same time, he got Piccolo energy. I think he got Piccolo energy. And Hit got Piccolo energy because I really Hit was my guy from what's it called, from Super, but
yeah, from Super.
Bringing up that PyCon episode arc, the first thing that would have tipped me off as King Kai, as I can't mess with Goku no more because he got me killed, was when all the other Kais showed up and they was like, "Hey, yo, you died, bro."
Everybody is all like, "You're dead, bro.
Yo, how you died, bro? That's crazy."
Oh, my pupil got me blown up. Like,
oh
damn.
My God, bro.
Yeah,
I would have been like, bro, I can't have him talking shit to me because of something you did. Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. I would have been so angry. I'm telling you, I'm fighting Goku on site. I can't fight him, but I'm doing something to him. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, nah. Go piece of shit.
Like, I'm sitting here chilling. I'm chilling with we out here. We relaxing. We on my planet. Like, I'm rooting for y'all.
And then you know what's crazy? Where did they go after the Earth blew up?
Oh, after his planet blew up? Bro, they was in heaven.
No.
They was on Snake Way. What you mean?
When Kid blew up the planet, where did they go?
Wait. Where they go after King Blue blew up the planet? Wait, did that when they went to hell and King Blue killed everybody else in hell?
Yeah, no, he killed everybody else like where they went. Wasn't King Kai over there also like, yo, bro? It wasn't King Kai. It was the whose planet was it? All I'm saying is he stayed going to other people's planet and bringing the most vicious things like you could possibly think of.
Was it the Supreme Kai's planet or whatever?
I think it was Supreme Kai's planet.
That's where they ended up beating Boo. That's where they had to beat Kid Boo because Goku be like, yo, I can't have this here. We can't blow up the Earth. I'm gonna take it to somebody else.
Earth got blown up.
It just
nope. It was the Kai's planet.
It was the Kai's planet. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like Goku was the transmission a problem right to your front doorstep, and you ain't had nothing to do with it. Like, you just hear a ding dong at the door, and you open the door, and man just dropped off. It's not even like, you know, when people do that prank where they light some like dog shit on fire and they just put it in and they're like, oh, you gotta stomp it out. No, bro. He put some box with a bomb inside and drops it on your front porch. It's like, hey, I'm here. And like, bro, why Goku? Why are you doing this?
Shit is crazy.
So I'm saying, like, if I'm King Kai, and I'm sitting here and I'm rooting for y'all, and you bring all of this stuff to my planet, and you blow me up, and you blow my mans up, because everybody on that planet died. All of them died. And then I see you get wished back to life, bro. The first thing I would have been in, because you know King Kai could talk to him telepathically. I would have made sure Goku had no peace, bro. I'd have been in Goku's ear the whole time.
You trying to sleep?
Be like, yo, what's up? So how many Dragon Balls y'all found? Yo, y'all trying to wish me back to life, bro? Like, yo,
I would have been wildly annoying for a long time. I would have made Goku do something where he would have had to spend some time in hell.
Like, the only thing that I can equate it to was Dragon Ball Z Abridged with Nappa. That would have been me. After
bro, literally.
Cheetah.
Perfect. But yeah, just to wrap up, at least on my side of things, like I did want to talk about something that a show that's coming out in the spring that I'm really excited for.
What you got?
And it's Lazarus. Look up Lazarus. Or rather, you know what? I got you. The year is 2052, an era of unprecedented peace, prosperity prevails across the globe. The reason for this, mankind has been freed from sickness and pain. Nobel Peace Prize winning neuroscientist Dr. Skinner has developed a miracle cure-all drug with no apparent drawbacks called, I don't know how to say that. I think it's Hapuna. Hapuna soon becomes ubiquitous, and essential. However, soon after Hapuna is officially introduced, Dr. Skinner vanishes. 3 years later, the world has moved on, but Dr. Skinner has returned, this time as a harbinger of doom. Skinner announces that Hapuna has a short half-life. Everyone who has taken it will die approximately 3 years later. Death is coming for the sinful world and coming soon. As a response to this threat, a special task force of 5 agents is gathered from across the world to save humanity from Dr. Skinner's plan. The group is called Lazarus. Can they find Skinner and develop a vaccine before time runs out?
All right, I'm sold. That sound fire. I'm sold.
Studio Mappa. Source Adult Swim.
Adult Swim been putting out bangers, bro. Adult Swim's been putting out bangers.
So I'm very excited for this.
One that I actually got it, and I'm glad you brought up Lazarus because it made me think of a series that I got to tell you have to watch because I saw the first episode of my brother-in-law. Shout out my brother-in-law Chris. He's the one that told me about it. Pantheon.
I feel like I heard about Pantheon.
Bro, it's like an AMA. I think it's an AMC like animated show.
Yes. Okay. Yep. I've seen it. I just not have gotten around to it because every time I log into Prime, I see it on Prime Video, and I just haven't watched it yet.
It is like I think I watched the first episode one night. I watched it on Netflix. I didn't know it was on Prime. It's on Prime. I'm definitely gonna bang it out too. But I watched the first episode on Netflix. And it was late at night. And if it wasn't late at night, bro, I'm talking like it was like 1 a.m. And I was just like, all right, let me just like watch this before I go to sleep. Trust me, bro. If it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on that given day, because I didn't have any, like I was off the next day and everything. And bro, I'd watch the whole thing. I'd watch the whole thing. That joint was so crazy. It's like at least based off of what I can tell from one episode, it's like there's some type of way that they have maintained at least to this point of my knowledge, at least one dead person sentient, like their consciousness, I should say, is somewhere in like the hyper matrix verse or whatever, and they're able to like influence life. Like kind of like remember that Shia LaBeouf movie Eagle Eye?
Mm-hmm.
It's like so
super
far,
AI.
Yeah, like super AI, but it's like super AI with a heart because it used to be a person, and now we don't know how many people they did this to, and we don't know how much it's affected life. And I don't already see one episode.
It's like Ghost in the Shell.
It kind of. Yeah, but it's like set in a world where their technology isn't super duper advanced. Like it's probably like technology like 10 years from now, like or 10 years or like 15 years from now. So like this technology is advanced enough where we can still kind of relate to what's going on, but like as opposed to everybody taking out their pen and notebook in class, everybody in class got like a hypercomputer. Like it's still like a laptop, everything, but they got like a legit hypercomputer. It's gas. So Lazarus and Pantheon, those are definitely the two that we putting on the docket. Because good Lord Almighty, bro, they be throwing out some bangers. They've been throwing out bangers recently. So shout out Adult Swim, shout out AMC, shout out anybody making bangers, bro. I don't
facts.
Give me bangers.
Keep giving me bangers.
Yeah, just keep giving me bangers, bro. But yo, AU man, we about to go ahead and slide on up out of here. But before we do, you got anything you want to leave the people with?
Y'all already know, man. There's always room on this couch.
Always. And yo, listen to us wherever you get your podcast. Rate us, review us. Check us out on our socials at Couch Stealers and subscribe to the Couch Stealer YouTube and hit that notification bell so you always know when we drop something brand spanking new. All right, y'all. We appreciate you. Make sure you come back next week. We're going to have another episode drop for y'all, so it's going to be real live, real fun. But as always room.
Peace.